Musings, December 7th, 2016, early morning, 6:42 a.m. right now, and more frustration arising with the story of the obligation to struggle in order to grow or learn or evolve spiritually. So, a moment ago, in the self-talk, in the speaking out into the ethers, there really is a question I have around the legitimacy of this story, this narrative that we've been fed around struggle is necessary to grow and evolve. Indeed, nature does have that. There is friction that creates the creative spark that initiates emergence. Emergence catalyzes to a new level, a new growth, a new expansion, and consciousness expands. So friction creates the pressure to push forward the new birth. So in natural systems, which we are, humans are, the psyche is, the soul is, that happens. So from that perspective, I get it. But from a very personal place, a very deep place, a place that feels connected to the whole of consciousness right now, channeling the energy, the anger, the seething frustration, the bitterness, the resentment around what the hell is going on. We keep getting pushed back, pushed down, resisted. It's comical. It can be viewed as comical. But today, this morning, here in bed, there really is a very sincere inquiry. Not coming from the perspective of living systems, just totally from the soul's perspective, the small self's perspective here in this 3D reality, on Earth as a human, which is, this is bullshit. This narrative is maybe just another narrative, meaning that this spiritual myth, these gurus that tell us, not all gurus, different gurus have different themes, but that we're essentially told and taught that life is challenging, but to have faith and to persevere. And it shows your strength if you persevere through the challenges, through the struggles, through the difficulties. So the narrative is, it's necessary, it's obligatory, that life is hard, that it's a challenge, but it's growing you. So the narrative is, it's growing you, so put up with the struggle. And what I'm saying is, no, I'm done with the struggle. And I'm done with the potential myth of being told that we have to put up with the struggle. It's all a story. It's all a story. Do patterns exist within each of us? They do. They definitely do. Deep. So deep, in fact, that there's sincere question about whether we really can shift these core soul patterns. because they're so deeply rooted. They envelop me. Mine are enveloping me. I don't even see a way out to swim out of this lake, this well, you know. It's big. It feels bigger than me. In order to escape my psyche, my stories is huge. So that's a reality that is embodied, that I'm experiencing. That these stories live there, and that they have very deep roots. They're tentacled. And here in this current life stream, this nodal point of reality for my higher self's, one of my higher self's many, many lives, there's an insanity to all of this. There's a tie. It's an imprisonment. The stories are an imprisonment. And to sincerely get out of the story, to sincerely rewrite the story, at least in this moment, feels like an impossible task. And it feels more so an impossible task, taking into account when there's any growth or progress or movement toward the top of the mountain onto the other side, there is another sometimes more massive struggle, obstacle, challenge. It's ridiculous. There's an insanity to it all. And I wonder if the spiritual myth of the obligation for obstacles is just something to keep us tied. It's another imprisonment. It's another binding. It ties us. It ties us to putting up with it. At some level, can we not just, or do we just, or when we feel we've had enough, do we just demand enough? Enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing the struggle anymore. I'm not doing the obstacle myth anymore. I'm not doing this pattern crap anymore. There is an insanity to it. There's an insanity to it, and there's a cruelty to it. There's definitely a cruelty to it. The fact that oh my gosh. I mean, the fact that, supposedly there's entities surrounding us, family, spirit family, observing us, witnessing us, loving us. We're told that they're loving us. But let's get real. There are dark entities out there. So not all of us are surrounded by love and light all the time. I think that a lot of people have different entities that maybe are giving strange energy. And who knows if they're supportive and loving. That's my inquiry. That's my embodied questioning right now. Who the fuck knows what is true and what is not true? Who knows if our spirit family is really loving? Now, do I think that mine is? I actually do. I feel like I have different entities around me. I think it's probably a collection of around 8. Although, who knows? I was told that and it felt true. And I continue to believe that. So it feels appropriate. However, they are different entities. They're not all angels. They're not all guides. They're different. It's a collection of entities. And I do think that they are protective beings for me. So I do think that they do that. I think they observe. I think they protect. I question the whole concept that we're fed. Just ask your angels. Just ask. If you need clarity, just ask. They provide their support. They provide a level of love. But it's really up to us to find the answers. It really is. And I'm tired of, let's say, believing a narrative that really isn't true, because it really just causes frustration, inner frustration. When you need help, just ask your angels. Well, no, that's not really true. You can, you can find what the higher vibrational match is, but it's really up to the individual to tap in to feel the truth of it. And even those that deal, even the angel scribes and those that deal with angels for their living, as their healing career, will say, that you'll feel it in the body. So really, for me, it's the higher self speaking. It's not your angels. Again, that's about humans making the duality. It's not about God up here, us down here. It's not about angels up there with all the answers and us down here with no answers. We are soul. We are spirit. We are source. We are that. We are the universe. We are the multiverse. So when you're asking for validation about an inquiry, and you get that validation via a sensation, an expansion, a tingle, whatever it is, a noise, something that happens in your body, around your body, a sensation that you feel, a thought that you have that comes, that you're higher, that is you. At some point, is it a myth that we're getting answers from angels, or is it really just our higher self? It's just our spirit. It's our source field. We are source. So is it angels? Perhaps. Are there entities that exist? Of course. Do people see entities around people? Of course. That is so. That is true. That is true. But when we're feeling sensations and people say, that's your angels, no, that's not true. That's your higher. Could you be touched by an entity and feel a sensation? Yes, of course. That's true. But when you're feeling things in your body or at the exterior of your body, is that likely your higher self activating your inner knowing? Very likely, yes. It's both and. Both things exist. But I notice in the conversations people have, they really deny the power of the higher self, and they always talk about the angels. It's the angels. It's the angels. Come on now, everybody. They can only do so much. And they're entities with their own perspective, by the way. They don't know necessarily what's best for you. They have a seeing and a knowing about what is optimal, and I think that they may try to support the decision that's going to align you most with your aligned self. But you are powerful. You know. And that's where the frustration comes in, because they're not going to give you a yes, no. They obligate you tapping into your own knowing. So the irony is, when you have a problem, just ask your angels, but really your angels just point back to you and say, you know. So there's the paradox, and there's the frustration. I think a lot of people feel this way. We're told love and light, ask your angels, all is well. Well, Yes, at some level, yes, that's true. And then at another level, no, it's not. Many truths exist simultaneously. And I'm so tired of light washing reality, especially when reality is quite dark. There's much darkness that's activated, and that's part of the seething anger that's arising. Seething. Absolute doneness with the crap that we are obligated to endure. It's an imprisonment. We're tied, we're linked, chained, contained, imprisoned. Humans are imprisoned by our own stories, and then in addition, we're imprisoned by some ridiculous narrative that we somehow need these obstacles in order to grow and expand. Bullshit. At some level, I'm feeling this is bullshit. It's another prison. We're imprisoned by this concept, and it's pissing me off. I want out of the prison. Talk about out of the matrix. It's more than the matrix. It's like within the matrix, which I'm already aware of, there's a prison, and I'm tired of being in the goddamn fucking prison. And I think many people are tired of being in the goddamn fucking prison. Whether the prison is our own narratives that live within our soul print, or whether the prison is the global narrative that there's struggle and obligation for pain, and thus the realization that there's a cruelty behind that. There's cruelty behind this narrative. And I can't perpetuate the cruelty from others to me or to me within myself by believing it. So what is the truth? Who knows? These are just musings. But I am curious, I am really curious to see what these awarenesses about, is this just another story? I wouldn't be surprised, because life really is a story within a story within a story. It's fractaled, it's patterned, it's as above, so below, as within, so without. It's intermixed, it's deep. It's deep. It's microcosm reflecting macrocosm. And within that, there are these funky narratives coming into my awareness. Not that I've not had the awarenesses before, but these are different. There's a different level. There's a different embodiment that's activated within me now because of my current activations, astrologically. So I'm tapping into some very, very deep psyche here. This is like deep things within the collective that I'm going into here. So it's not only my narrative, but it's what the collective is holding. So, question it. This is for each of those perhaps listening. I'm recording this. I don't know if I'm going to post it. For all of you out there resonating at any level with my musings, with my questioning, if it feels valid to you, then you are invited to question your beliefs about ease, peace, bliss, and obstacle, struggle, and what we believe is necessary, what we believe is beyond our control, what we believe we're obligated to. So I'll leave it there. This is recording number 10. 1 is the individual, its individuation, its initiation, new beginnings, fire. 0 is God source, source field, consciousness, potentiality, the holistic nature of nature. It's full completion. So who knows? Maybe a lot of us are coming to radical realizations that are enabling full completion at some level. I know I'm ready for a new narrative. I'm ready for a new story. I'm ready to be fully free. Fully fucking free.